Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast today. These podcasts are brought to you in part by our sponsors, who really truly are what make these podcasts possible every week. O'Fallon Nutrition is a company that I've worked with for over 15 years. They're independently owned and operated, located here in O'Fallon, Missouri, right off of Highway K and Mexico Road. I call this place the Whole Foods of St. Charles County, but even if you are not located on this side of the river, it is still worth the drive. I can remember working all the way down at Powerhouse and still sending people out to O'Fallon Nutrition for their supplements. They are more than a supplement company. You can get grass-fed beef, salad dressing, seasoning for your cooking, hair care products, makeup, deodorant, toothpaste, essential oils, and all the vitamins and minerals that you can think of. If you're looking for clean, whole food nutrition, as well as home care, house care, skincare products, O'Fallon Nutrition is your place. You can take a look at them at o'fallonnutrition.com, or if you'd like to have something shipped, if you're listening to me from outside of St. Louis, you can certainly have items shipped. I know they do free shipping if it's an order over $50, and the phone number is 636-240-5283. Again, it's o'fallonnutrition.com. As well as if preparing your food on a weekly basis is your primary excuse for why you're not able to stay on a good, clean eating program, which is something that I hear very regularly from my clients, I would ask you to please take the time to check out Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com. They are a phenomenal place. We get our food from there during the week. They deliver to our Integrity location. They will deliver to your house. They also are just available for pickup. You can go to their Chesterfield location or their Kirkwood location and just pick up meals for the day, as well as just having them delivered right to your door. So if preparing your food is your main excuse for why you cannot stay on a healthy eating program, then I would suggest just stop by Pure Plates. Just try it. If you're trying to lower your blood pressure, you're trying to lower your cholesterol, you're trying to get your blood sugar down, try to do Pure Plates meals for a week and just see how different you feel. These are organic meals. They are gluten-free. If you need them to be, they can be dairy-free. They are soy-free. You're not taking any processed sugars or meat-curing agents or preservatives. They really, truly believe in nutrient-dense meals that are just whole food nutrition. And I've had my clients, or I've made recommendations for my clients for years at Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com, or you can call them to ask questions at 636-778-3555. Again, remembering that they have a location in Chesterfield as well as in Kirkwood that you can just run by and pick up a meal today. Everyone always asks me where I get my meat from, and given that I really eat meat on a daily basis, typically beef primarily, my meat is very important to me. I have an autoimmune condition and I want grain-free, corn-free meat, and I just haven't found the confidence in stores in knowing that I'm getting 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And I have searched and searched and searched for the right farm, and I have found the farm. It's fedfromthefarm.com, fed, F-E-D, from thefarm.com. These farmers are amazing. It's a family. They're here in Missouri, and they have the desire, just like I do, to see people well and to see people healthy, and they put a lot into what they do. It's such a wonderful family to support. They do offer 100% grass-finished, grass-fed, meaning that's it. A beef, and I get my ribeyes, I get my ground beef, my ground sirloin, I get my chuck roast. I mean, they basically have everything. They even have awesome jerky, but they also have eggs, they have chickens, and they have turkey. I'm planning on getting a turkey for Thanksgiving, and if you'd like lamb, they have that as well. But if you are in need of good quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef, or quality eggs, chicken, turkey, don't just settle for what you're getting at the local store. to go out on the internet and check out Fed from the Farm. That you can arrange a pickup or you can have it delivered to your home. And I can guarantee you're going to taste the difference. For me, my health actually depends on it. So I really thank God to have found such a great farmer. Fedfromthefarm.com. I hope it blesses you.
Welcome to Faith, Fuel, and Fitness, the Integrity Way, with your hosts, John and Debbie Morris from Integrity Training Systems.
Hey everybody, this is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. So happy to be with you today. We always like to start our show out by talking about what it means to be a warrior. And a warrior is a brave or experienced soldier or fighter. The ors are important because you don't have to be brave and you don't have to be a soldier. You just have to be an experienced fighter. And all that means is that you've had to overcome something tough in your life. If you've done that once, you get to call yourself a warrior. And the importance of being a warrior is this idea that warriors never give up. So if you can go into something with the mindset that failure is not an option and just get it done, then you know you're going to be a warrior and you're going to be able to make it through life. The only time I tell people that it's okay to accept failure, and I jokingly say failure is always an option, is in the gym. Because if you go to failure, it means you're actually going to grow from that. But in life, you just have to understand that everything you deal with is overcomable. And from a warrior perspective today, I want to go a little bit of a different direction and just talk a little bit about how warrioring doesn't have to be, and most times isn't, done alone. And so you have to pay attention to who you surround yourself with, because when you go into war or you go into battle, you want to know that the people that you're doing that with not only have your back, but they're in agreement with you on what it is you're trying to do. I know that when I was in law enforcement, there were officers that if I were to go on a dangerous call, someone that's an armed subject or, some kind of like crazy fighter assault in progress, like when they would have my back, when they would call out that DSN was arriving with me on scene, they'd be like, yes, okay, we got this. And then there were other ones that when I knew they were my backup unit, I'm like, first off, if they even make it before I have this done, because they magically take too long to get here, if you're catching my drift, if they even make it, they're probably not really going to be able to help me. They're going to either not want to get involved or, they might even be, they might even end up accidentally shooting me in the back. Now, that's a little bit of a stretch. But my point is who you're with matters, because not only does it build your confidence, but it'll help build toward what you're trying to do. And we deal with, obviously, training and nutrition. And in the health industry, what we find is more and more and more common is that if you're trying to be healthy and you're trying to eat well, it's called a diet. And our pastor actually talked about this. He said, we actually live in such a place, a time in this world where when you're talking about eating something that is given from God, when you're talking about eating only of the earth, you're eating clean, meats, you're eating clean vegetables, it's actual food. Well, you're on a diet because you're avoiding pizza, you're avoiding fast food, you're avoiding gluten, you're avoiding crappy processed dairy. Now you're on a diet, right? No, that's actually how we were designed by God since the beginning of time to eat. We've just added a bunch of garbage in as the world's moved on. And so who are you surrounding yourself with that's going to be in alignment with you on that? They might still be willing to eat fast food. Perhaps they're even still willing to eat pizza or whatever it is. But are they trying to get you to do the same thing? If you've got a medical issue, which a lot of our clients do, it's fascinating. The era of just follow macros and blah, 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 blah. It was never really hyper efficient, but it is less effective than ever because most people have something wrong with them now. Our society has eaten ourselves into genetic sickness. Most people have some type of diabetes or some type of digestional issue or something wrong with their brain or something off that would make it to where they should really eat as clean as possible. So if you're with people and they're like, oh, come on, man, it's just 2 beers. Oh, come on, man. You can have pizza once a week. Are you serious right now? If they're giving you a hard time about trying to be healthy. Now, I'm not talking about someone joking about you trying to cut a couple pounds off. They should leave you alone on that too. But if you're trying to be healthy and they're trying to convince you that what you're doing is wrong, you might be hanging out with the wrong people, and you might be telling the wrong people what you're trying to do. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. The Bible even calls us to do that. When you're hanging out, make sure that they understand, hey, listen, I'm just trying to be healthy, so I'm going to avoid that for right now. If you have to explain much more than that, or they try to goad you, maybe get with different soldiers in the battlefield, maybe go shoulder to shoulder with some different folk. And that's what I love about our gym is everybody understands that with one another. I call ourselves the Cheers Without Beers, because even if we don't know your name, and well, we do, but even if the other clients don't know your name, they're there for each other. You know, I've had clients come up to me like, hey, you're 6 a.m. that's usually here. Like, I don't know his name, but like, is he okay? I noticed he hasn't been here in a couple weeks. Like, that's the type of person you want to surround yourself with, because they're trying to actually make sure you're where you should be to be healthy. And I just think that matters.
Absolutely. I think you're building community, and that community a lot of times is what actually keeps you on the road, to health optimization. That community is what can at times make it possible for you to get over a hump, or for you to be able to just push through whatever type of darkness is coming into your life. I also think, from a warrior perspective, something to consider. I have this quote on my desk, but it says, "The easy way doesn't pay well." And it just sits on the front of my desk in an area where I see it every single day. And I think from a warrior's perspective, true warriors don't take the easy way out. Okay, so if they're tired, they do what they need to do anyways. If they're in pain, they do what they need to do anyways. If they're sick, they do what they need to do anyways. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. They still do what they need to do. And the easy way is the flesh way. The easy way is my way. The easy way is what's going to be best for me. I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't take care of ourselves. Of course we need to take care of ourselves. Of course we need to make sure we're optimized and that we're resting and that we're doing all the things that we need to do. I 1000% agree that all of those things need to happen. But I love how Jocko Willink says, if you're wanting to rest, don't do it the day that you're wanting to do it. Just get up.
Right.
Go to work. Get up. Go to the gym. Get up. Do whatever it is that you need to do that day. And then the next day, if you find yourself still depleted, if you find yourself still, mentally just struggling, if you find yourself still just not there, then rest. Then decide to rest. Because the amount that you set yourself back from making the decision, when that first thought comes to your mind, oh, I just really want to be able to sleep in. Oh, I don't even think I want to go and do that today. I don't even want to have that meeting today. I don't even want to be around those people today. I don't want to make that full day. I don't want to have to minister to that person today. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. My body's just not there right now. I'm just not feeling it. Well, who cares what you're feeling? Because at the end of the day, it's what God's putting in you. And he's going to give you everything you need to get through that day. But we get in our own way. We keep ourselves from being able to accomplish it because we're not staying connected to the vine. We're not staying connected to the fruit. And so our fruit starts to spoil, basically, because our energy, our hope, our peace, our rest, all of our strength comes from the Lord. And no matter how busy the day is, no matter how difficult the day is, no matter how big the challenge of our health, no matter what is going on, if we're staying connected and we're staying tied to the vine and our fruit is through him, he will give us the exact amount of strength that we need to make it through that day. But we go back to 2 shows ago where we talked about vision, where we talked about mission, and we talked about core values. That's what makes you stay stuck to the vine. That's what makes you care about the fruit. Because if I'm serving the vision, if I'm serving the mission, and if I know what my core values are, then I'm showing up. I am showing up.
I also think that when you talk about taking care of yourself, what's interesting is that's not actually the same thing as making it easy. taking care of yourself mean sometimes taking care of yourself is the hardest thing to do. Because if you're doing what you're called to do, it's like, shoot, I gotta work in taking care of me.
That's right.
Taking the easy route means you just don't feel like doing something. And what happens is it's not actually easy. It usually makes it harder because you either have to do that later. And that's where you hear about things like you see this quote go around and says, choose your hard. Yeah. There's even this image of this like overweight guy. It's made out of stone and he's chiseling away at his weight. And it says, choose your hard. You can choose to be healthy today and the effort of working out and the effort of eating clean, which is difficult, or you can choose to deal with the difficulty of being unhealthy, potentially having type 2 diabetes, having to go to the hospital, heart issues, whatever it may be. So you have to choose your hard.
For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Just kind of got done talking to you about what it means to be a warrior and choosing your hard. And I just think that sometimes in our industry, choosing your hard is what makes people fail. You'll watch people that they start a nutrition plan, and it's looked at by the world, as we were saying, as a diet. And really, it's just cleaning up what you're bringing in, watching your chemicals, and then trying to put yourself in a position where you're consuming the right foods to actually feel well and have the proper energy for your day. And what'll make someone fail is choosing the wrong hard to give up on. And so it's like the reason that you've come to us, the reason that our clients come is because they aren't healthy. They're not happy. They know something needs to change. But then they'll say, well, I didn't have time to meal prep this week, or, I forgot to take my food with me, or I just didn't make it to the gym. I didn't get my workouts in this week or my cardio. And time is a common one. Time is one that you hear people say, and time is limited in life. But again, as far as choosing your hard, if you limit the time that you're going to spend on your health, then you may ultimately be limiting the time that you're on this earth. And so if you end up dying early from being unhealthy, like the time lost for the meal prep, the time lost for the exercise, like, was that ultimately worth it? And so what we tell people a lot is, you hear these things called like work-life balance, and I don't even know what that really means. A lot of times the way it's being used now, I feel like, is just as an excuse to not actually do what you have to do, not have to go to work more than 20 hours a week, and, not have to actually work to be healthy. And we live in such a dopamine driven society. I think everything is so short-sighted because if you don't like it, you just swipe it. And so this idea of like always having to have the fire towards something and not ever operating out of discipline is kind of consuming the world. And I just think that ultimately lends to what Debbie was talking about, where, if you feel like you need rest or you want to give up on something, or you don't feel like doing it, Jocko Willink says to wait till the next day to do that. And the concept of that, really, if you just get to the bottom of it, is just pressing on. Like pressing through something that you don't feel like doing because on the other side of it is actually what you want done.
I think that the term work-life balance is a term that's just completely so played out, and it actually makes my head want to explode. And I guess maybe it's just because I own a business, or I own two businesses, and work-life balance is... like, of course, we all want balance. Of course, we all want to do all that we can to be able to spend time with our family. We want to be able to make sure that we can serve others. We want to be able to make sure that we're doing all that we can for our employees and our business. We want to have a good balance of that. But what has happened is we have this society of people that are so self-serving. It's like, no. I can't work that late. No. I can't get up that early. I have to have the schedule exactly this and exactly that. When was it ever that way? When I got where I got, it was because I got up early and I stayed up late. The reason why I have what I have was because I spent my weekend preparing my food. The reason why I stay healthy is because I fight for it. I make the time to go to the doctors. It's inconvenient. I'm tired because of it. I'm late to things because of it. Like I don't always have a perfect balance, and that's okay. And it's okay to recognize that you're not always going to have this perfect balance, because our flesh wants that. Of course it does. Our flesh is like, I want this perfect schedule. I want to do my diet so I can have the chocolate. I can have the wine. I can have all the things. That's the perfect balance, that I get to have all these toxins and all these poisons and have zero expectation that I'm going to get any disease from it. But that creates balance for me if I continue to eat all of this toxin, if I continue to take in all this poison. It's just a really weird situation to me that we're so self-driven. We have to please ourselves all the time. We don't think about what it actually takes to keep that business running that you work for. And it takes sometimes spending a few more hours than you'd like to. Sometimes it takes waking up a little bit earlier than what you'd like to. Sometimes it takes making more phone calls. Sometimes it takes showing up. It just isn't always a perfect schedule exactly the way you want it. And I think there's an entire generation that's created this thing in their mind where it's like, I should be able to work when I want to work. I should be able to do it from my house if I want to. Well, good for you. I hope that works out for you. But for the person that's really working hard over here to try to pay the rent in the place, I get up early and I had to stay late, and I'm willing to do it. And when I'm on a plane, I'm working. When I'm at a stoplight, I'm working. It just takes hard work and effort. You can do it smart and you can do it efficient. Okay. It doesn't mean it has to be just absolutely horrible for you, but you have to be willing to, even if you're not an entrepreneur, let's say you're an intrapreneur, okay, then you should be thinking, what extra can I do for this place to serve this mission, to improve this place? Because you're serving others within your role within that business. But it's always, how can I serve myself? How can I serve myself? How can I get the perfect schedule? How can I get as many days off? How can I get as much of this or as much of that or more of this or more of that for less effort? I don't understand how you're going to find fulfillment in that life.
That's the problem that I have with the comment of work-life balance being overplayed and overused, is most people that I hear that say it aren't actually happy with where they are. Like, I hear people talk about working too much, but then they're the same people that complain about not having enough money. I hear people talk about like, oh, well, must be nice, but then they don't actually actively do anything to get more time in at work, or to, work hard enough that they get a raise, or potentially, look for a second job if that's the kind of industry they're in. It's like, and I realize that's just about money, but, with fulfillment, it's like, if you're walking around talking about like needing to do less work-life balance, Grant Cardone actually says that downtime is the breeding ground of anxiety and depression. So if your work-life balance is the life being not doing anything productive, and you're walking around anxious and depressed regularly, or acknowledging that you're not happy with where you are, you're probably operating in the wrong quote-unquote work-life balance, and you may want to reevaluate what that should look like for you.
For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems with a 6-month nutrition program with myself, or with a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We've continued to talk as the show's gone on about warrioring yourself through this concept of work-life balance and this idea of choosing your hard. And, you know, in the fitness industry, I always tell people, I'm like, what you have to do from a weight training perspective is simple. I'm not going to call it easy, but it is simple. And from a nutrition perspective, I say the same thing. It's simple, but it's not easy. And the reason I say it like that is if you do what you're supposed to do, if you work with someone who has a higher knowledge level than you and you let them assist you in figuring out what you're supposed to do, then the pathway becomes simple, it becomes straight. Like, I'm just going to follow this path. And the difficulty lies in the fact that there is hardship. You do have to put the time in. The workouts are going to hurt a little bit. The cardio is going to suck a little bit. It just is, because you've gotten to where you are by doing what you've done. And to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to work for it. Now, you might have health issues. You might have injuries that make it not as simple is the person next to you that it's simple for, because they don't have the same health problems. They don't have the same injuries. But that's my job. That's Debbie's job. It's our job to align what you're dealing with to become more simple. If you need a doctor or a chiropractor or something else involved, we actually assist with that. We put ourselves in networks with people of like-mindedness in what we do to assist with that. So the idea is that when you work with us, it's our job to simplify what needs to be done for your body to become more healthy. And then ultimately that makes the hard part that you have to deal with discipline. And discipline is where most people fail, because motivation is fleeting. Motivation's great. Like the days that you're motivated to work out, and you're like, man, I'm ready to get after this. I can't wait for this pump, or I'm so in. Like today, that's fantastic. Press into that. You know, the day the music hits just right in your ear and you're like, I'm ready to take on the world. Press into that. But I'm going to tell you right now, that is not always going to be there. Like, you are not always going to feel that way. And if you are someone that always feels that way, man, I'm jealous of you, because there are those people in the gym that are like that. But most people that are in the gym, they show up every day because they're disciplined to do so, because they know that's what's actually needed to make them as healthy as they want to be and get to where they want to go. People will say that to me, my clients, man, I wish I was as motivated as you to get healthy. And this most recent injury I've come back from, I wish I was as motivated as you to overcome what you just went through. And it's like, no, you don't. Because every day I woke up in pain, I'm like, I don't even want to go to work today. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to take this on anymore. I've already rehabbed my back before. It's a chronic problem. It has been for 20 years. I don't like that. This is it. I'm just going to give into this. That's my motivation. But my discipline is, no, you don't get to do that, because you have a wife, because you have a daughter, because you have employees that rely on your business and you being there. You have clients that rely on you. My discipline is what keeps me locked in on that. So what you have to learn to do when you're struggling with something or failing on something is implement disciplines that will help you to get through it. And the most common thing I hear said is, well, I'm trying. But it's nonsensical. A lot of times that's a lie you're telling yourself, and no one else believes it. Have you ever had someone tell you they're trying to show up on time, or they're trying to work harder, and you're like, yeah, right, I don't really see you trying? They're saying the same thing to you. So when you're saying I'm trying, or like I really want this, or whatever, and in the back of your mind that people tell you that, and you're like, you're a liar, you're full of crap, they are saying the same thing. So this idea of I'm trying is actually a lie that we tell ourselves to accept that we're not getting to where we want to go. And the only way you can actually consider yourself to really be trying is to be implementing things to change from where you are right now. I had this conversation with our daughter because she was reading Psalms, and she was reading one Psalm every day. And what happened is she started to kind of fail and get behind on that, where she missed 2 days. So she read 3 of them on this day, and then she missed a day, so she read 2 of them on this day. So when I inquired as to how it was going, she was like, well, and told me what I just told you. And she's like, but I got them all done. And I said, okay, so you failed. And she kind of looked at me, and I was like, I'm proud of you for getting those Psalms in, but what you were supposed to do is do them every day. And the reason you're supposed to do them every day is because you're building a discipline. And the reason we need to do a discipline of actually read a Psalm every day is, can you tell me what those 5 Psalms mean? She just kind of looked at me. If you read 3 at a time, you will lose the value of each Psalm. The idea is that you're reading one a day so that you can actually soak it in and not just read words, but read the Spirit and take that on. That's the idea of the discipline. And so, you have to say, she goes, well, I'm trying. And I said, okay, well, how are you trying? And she kind of looked at me. And I said everything to her that I just said to you. I told her, the only reason I'll accept the word trying is because you've started setting an alarm to get it done. You've wrote yourself a note to make sure that you get through that Psalm. You've wrote a calendar out and that's added to it, or a task list. Once you start trying to implement something, you're trying to build a discipline, that's trying. If you're not doing that, though, and you're just saying you're trying, that's not actually trying. That's just saying something.
I think that the reality is that this whole situation, it's just not easy. And you're okay to need someone to help you. Like you don't have to think, well, I can't commit any finances to that. My household we shouldn't spend money on that, or I can figure this out on my own. I know what I need to do. Okay, I understand. You do know what you need to do. Let's say you've done it before. Let's say you've lost 100 pounds, but you put a lot of it back on. But the problem is that you're not doing it. And so try to set your finances aside. Okay? Try to set your I can figure this thing out on my own aside, and just try to think, what would happen if I just truly dove into the deep end and I gave this 150%? If I truly committed to my health, if I truly committed to changing my nutrition and changing my exercise and changing my view on discipline, changing my habits, what would happen? What would happen is that it would change all areas of your life. You might even achieve more finances in the bank because you become more disciplined and more efficient in so many areas, because you're eating better, because you're exercising more, you're just actually performing better. But the thing is you want to go to a higher level, work with someone to help you get to that higher level. Don't continue to try to do it in an average way by yourself. I applaud you. I applaud you for trying. I applaud you for using the app. I applaud you for calculating your food. But there are people out there that can find the gaps in that. There are people out there that can create a plan that won't hurt your shoulder. There are people out there that can inspire you and encourage you. They can recognize that you're allowing trauma, past trauma and past hurt, keep you from the freedom that you deserve. There are people out there that will refuse to give up on you. There are places out there that are full of light, that are full of life. And as you're trying to pierce your way through the darkness that life is giving you, you can go into a place like this and it'll be like you're being plugged into an IV, and life will come into your veins. And you'll realize there's more to this than me just trying to get up and use some app and doing some workout, following my macros, and yet still not feeling good every day. You don't have to do the whole thing alone. There's a reason why there are places like Integrity. There's a reason why there's gyms all over the place. It's a life-changing environment. But without the right food, you're not going to fully achieve that life change. And what is the right food? There is no one way or the highway. There is no exact situation. Do you know that I spent basically my entire life not eating starch? I felt so sick if I would eat rice. I felt so sick if I would eat oatmeal, if I would eat potatoes. I felt terrible if I ate those things. I mean, basically, I'm talking to you about my entire life. I did not
ever eat starchy carbohydrates. Again, this wasn't because I wanted to be a low carb eater. This was because I didn't feel good. I'd feel like I was going to pass out. My heart would race. So many bad things would happen when I would have these starches. Well, I knew so many bodybuilders that ate those starches every day, and it felt so unfair that I couldn't eat them, but they could eat them. And I kept thinking I was doing something wrong, but that was just the season that my body was in. Do you know that I have figured out that my system has changed, and now I have to eat starch. Now what happens is if I don't eat starch, I actually go back to not feeling good. I feel depletion. I feel that I have low blood sugar. My heart will race from not eating the starch. But I had needed advisement on that. I have a coach that I have had for 25 years. Here I am. I'm a functional nutrition coach, certified functionally, Chinese medicine, brain health coaching. Okay, I am well certified. I am well trained. And you know what I did? I kept with my coach for 25 years because I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. And we recognized together that I needed to start eating starch. Things change. Your body changes. You need someone that can decipher the way through those changes, because sometimes on your own, you just don't figure that stuff out, and you don't always follow an influencer and figure it out because you can't always eat the way they eat. We're all so different, and we really need to have a plan that's crafted for our bodies, for our guts, for our immune system, for our thyroid, for our hormones. And then as we improve all those areas and we change the system a little bit more. My thyroid started functioning better. So I suddenly started taking less thyroid and I ate a little bit more starch and I'm doing fine. I'm telling you, the beginning half of my life, I could never have done those things. I would have felt absolutely terrible, sick, absolutely sick if I did those things. But it took getting together with my coach and really talking through some things, getting together with my functional doctor, making the change. And now I'm feeling better from that change. Just trying to do this stuff alone. It's too much to try to figure out on your own. Make the finances work for it. Okay. Make the time work for it. It will be transformational if you do it. It will be life altering. It will be so worth it. And it will transform you in so many areas of your life that you will not question or doubt that you made the right investment with your money and the right investment with your time. For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems with a 6-month nutrition program with myself, or a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers, or getting involved with my online subscription program, this is an amazing program. It is set up to where twice a month we have a live Q&A call together. I can see you on video. You can see me. You can see all the others in the group. You can ask as many questions as you want during that live Q&A. And then you're part of a community. We post recipes. We post all sorts of different articles. We get in there and we encourage each other. It is literally only $24.95 a month. It is so inexpensive. And you can go all the way back to a year ago when I began this, and you can listen to all of the messages. For more information on that program and all of our other programs, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We've really been kind of just pressing into making sure that you put your health first and really take care of yourself so that you can take care of everything else around you and in your life. And Debbie was really pressing in the last segment about not doing it alone. And something that we commonly hear from people is, I know what I need to do, or, I've done it before. I just have to lock in, or, I'm trying and it's just not really working. And these are all people that are trying to do it on their own. And my question is, how long have you been doing that? So like when you say you're trying on your own and it's not really working, like, have you been trying for a year? Like a year of your life is gone with whatever you're trying right now and it's not effective and it's not working, then like, wouldn't it make sense to try to hire somebody so that they can assist you in potentially breaking through whatever it is you're doing wrong and getting you to that spot that you want to be in? I mean, after a year, 6 months even. Another one, like I said, is, well, I know what I need to do. And it's like, okay, but how long have you been saying that? You've been saying that for 2 years. You know what you need to do, but you're just not doing it. Like, does it not make sense to hire someone that's in your corner with you, that helps hold you accountable, that's going to also be tweaking what you need to do, because you probably don't know what you need to do anymore? Because if you did it 2, 3, 4 years ago, your body could have shifted. Debbie was talking about, like, she started having some pretty scary health things, and everything she needed to do for her body completely radically changed as far as her food goes. I mean, I've been with her for 12 years and had never seen her eat a starch, let alone like rice. And she's eating it multiple times a day now because her body has changed as she's aged, as whatever, who knows what it is that's shifted in her body, but something shifted. And so, like, you might be even actually trying. You may for sure, for real, be trying, and it's not working anymore because what you did before might just not be effective. You might have to be making some kind of change on your food, on your exercise, how much cardio you're doing in combination with what you're consuming, how much protein you need. It could be macro-based. It could be micro-based. It could just be that you have to stop eating something that used to be okay. Maybe green beans don't work as a vegetable for you anymore. Maybe you're not breaking them down right. Perhaps it's something as simple as that. Maybe chicken is no longer the proper protein for your body. These things do change. And so I just want to, like, if you're listening and you're someone who's saying, I know what I need to do, I've done it before, I just have to lock in, I've been trying and it's not working, I'm on the either point of giving up or I've given up because I've done all of these things. Like, if you're doing it alone, or even if you're with a coach that it hasn't been effective with, I challenge you to look for another one. Like, don't give up. And if you find a coach, make sure it's someone that's also willing to work with your doctor, to have some kind of communication, to figure out if some blood work can be done. Really deep dive into your health. Like, you actually deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be well. Don't spend the rest of your life not being well because of all of the reasons I just stated.
Okay, I want to say two things, and I need you to help me to not forget them.
Okay.
So first thing I'm going to talk about is not giving up and finding a new coach, even though you've had one before. And then don't let me forget to make a comment about a keto diet.
Okay.
If you help me remember that.
Okay.
Okay, because
you have 5 minutes.
I know, because I might get real in depth into this,
okay,
and then I'll forget that. But
I'm just going to start saying it like every minute. Keto diet.
Keto diet.
Yeah.
Keto
Okay.
diet. Okay.
Okay.
So
go.
I have a chiropractor. His name is Dr. Matthew Lytle, and he is saving my life right now because I have a bulging disc
At the base of the skull.
He does incredibly great active release therapy, and he is basically taking the soft tissue and removing it from the nerve and just like setting me free from the just most excruciating pain and burning and just nerve entrapment that I just think is humanly possible to have. I have gone to so many different doctors and chiropractors. I can't tell you, but with each new one that I've gone to, there's been hope, right? I think, okay, maybe this one will be able to help me. Maybe this one will be able to help me. What if I would have given up? Now, this doctor actually came to me for nutrition. And I realized, okay, I love that this person cares so much. He's already in great shape, but he cares so much about his life that he's trying to really, truly optimize himself. And so I asked him a question as he left about my neck, and his response was like nothing anyone had ever stated to me before. And so I went to him, and it was the most thorough process I had ever experienced in any of these places. Why am I telling you all this? Because what if I wouldn't have gone? What if I would have said, well, I've already been to the chiropractors, right? John, in the 12 years you've known me, how many different chiropractors have I been to?
I think it's 712 and a half.
Right. I mean, seriously, I've been to so many of them, and they're all wonderful people.
Yeah.
But I know that they all helped me, but they didn't figure this out.
You said this, there's no one way.
No
so
one
like
way.
they might just not
Might
have had
have
the
gotten me
tools
there.
for you.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
And so I'm just trying to minister to you to not give up.
Yes.
That right person could be out there for you. And maybe even the people that you've gone to in the past, maybe it wasn't a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Maybe it gained you the knowledge that got you to this point.
Platform to the next.
Exactly. Now, on the keto front, I have a client that was in the past 6 months that it's him and his wife that come to me. And she wanted him to come to me because she had done my nutrition program and just did beautifully with it. I mean, it changed her life. And so she's like, my husband, he just always does keto. And yes, sometimes it works, but he never really can maintain it. And I just don't feel like his health is exactly where it needs to be. So I met with him. He gave me a chance. I balanced his nutrients. And he just kind of looked at me like, you really want me to eat all these foods, like foods that he had not been eating? I mean, he had not been touching them. And I said, please, just give me a chance. Give me 30 days. Just please, I want you to try this. If it doesn't work, I'll put you on a ketogenic diet. I'm well-versed in it. I've worked with a lot of people with, epilepsy and different seizures and different issues to where they had to be on a ketogenic diet. So I medically understand how to do that. So he gave me a chance. He's in phenomenal shape right now. Like, he's shredded. He looks fantastic. And he's just like eating all of these different foods. She's making all of these different types of meals. And they're getting so creative with their cooking. And he feels good. And he has great energy. And his digestion is better. All of these things came up. And he's not having to just eat a ketogenic diet. He's not having to just eat meat. He's not having to just do this. He's getting to have vegetables, and he's getting to have sweet potatoes, and getting to have fruit, and he's getting to have all these things that he was never having.
It's just such a trend for so long, such a buzzword.
True. I think a ketogenic diet is excellent if you have autoimmunity and
Correct.
you have an overactive immune system. It's a phase. It's a 3-week, 4-week, 3-month phase that gets you out of an overreaction in the body. Or if you are dealing with something like seizures or epilepsy, of course it's a great situation.
Yeah, again, just not for everybody.
Right, but it's just, if he hadn't have come to me, if he probably would be doing keto for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and feeling the way he felt.
Right, and really never achieving the results that he truly wanted to achieve. Now, I mean, they might go on vacation and he may put a little bit of weight back on, but now he has the blueprint. He knows what to go back to. He has his reset. And if something changes and his body starts to change, then he has me that he can fall back to. But it took that one. This guy, you didn't look at this guy when I met him and thought he was like, okay, you really need to get yourself healthy. He looked healthy, but he wasn't optimized. He wanted to take it a step further, and I was just there to help him to be able to take it a step further. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, but I just always think, how many other people are out there like that? How many other people just don't want to spend the money? How many other people just don't want to spend the time? And they're saying, I've already been to a health coach. I already took a nutrition class. I already tried that diet. Okay, well, I'm not asking you to try any of that. I'm asking you to completely transform and change your life. And Integrity Training Systems has the ability to do that. We have a 6-month nutrition program. We have personal trainers that will offer you a free personal assessment, which will identify any muscle imbalances that you might have, any postural issues, and will teach you what it takes to correct those. We also have my live Q&A program for only $24.95 a month, 2 live video calls with me and a wonderful community. All of this is available on integritytrainingsystems.com or by calling us at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free, healthy baked goods delivered to your door, take a look at my personal bakery, sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com. That is an amazing farm. It is, when I say it, I mean it. It is truly the only meat that my family will eat. They are an incredible family. I can't speak highly enough of them. Thank you all for listening today, and God bless you.